The day begins at 0600 with the quiet hiss of oxygen through the vents, a sound so soft it could be the planet breathing. I lie in the narrow bunk of the quarantine wing, palms flat against the sheet, counting heartbeats. 104/86. The monitor blinks the verdict like an accusation. Technically acceptable, but I've always preferred the symmetry of 125/75, a body that means business, a system in command. I swing my legs over the side of the bed. The floor is cold and sterile, a reminder that control starts from the ground up. Months of discipline come down to this. The body, stripped of excuses, facing the checklist. Coffee is allowed, 1 cup. I sip it like fuel rather than pleasure. The taste is metallic. Caffeine hits like static against the nerves. I tell myself it's fine, it's just part of ignition. The corridor outside glows with white light. Down here, everything hums. The air recyclers, the distant centrifuge, the footfalls of med techs who've learned not to speak. Each of us is a component, calibrated to disappear into the larger machine. At the end of the hall, the sauna chamber waits. My private ritual. Officially, it's for cardiovascular conditioning. Unofficially, it's confession by heat. I sit inside and let the temperature climb until sweat runs like melted armor. In the haze, I repeat the mantra that has carried me through years of tests and evaluations. Dawn, T, fake, calm. Become it. It started as advice from a mission psychologist, but it's turned into a religion. Breath in, hold, release. The body listens. When the pulse steadies, I can almost believe I'm ready for Mars. I used to think the training was about endurance, survive the simulations, master the protocols, but it's really about surrender. Every launch begins with letting go, of gravity, of control, of the idea that you know what's coming. Last night I dreamed of my father again. He was sitting beside a window that looked out over an endless sea, a fire behind him, a storm in front. Something vast moved beneath the surface, an outline too big to name. He didn't seem afraid. He just said, "Keep your eyes open when the ship starts to shake." Then the dream dissolved, leaving me with the weight of his voice. I towel off, pull on the gray exercise suit, and head to medical. The nurse nods, the cuff tightens, the machine prints its silent judgment. "All within range," she says. I nod, pretending it's a compliment. She doesn't know that I measure success by different metrics, the invisible ones. The rest of the morning unfolds in procedures. Blood work, oxygen uptake, equilibrium drills. My reflection in the glass looks older than I feel, thicker around the edges, eyes hollow from weeks of late nights and analysis loops. I tell myself the fatigue is normal. Even rockets tremble before they clear the pad. At Aero 900, I meet with Commander Hale for a final briefing. He's a man built entirely of posture and restraint. "You've done well," he says, scanning the tablet. Psyche evals show improvement, no anomalies. Improvement, no anomalies. I smile politely, though part of me bristles. I want to ask what normal means to someone who never questioned his own circuitry. But I let it go. This isn't philosophy class, it's launch prep. When I step outside, the sunlight feels like an interrogation lamp. Beyond the compound fence, the desert stretches flat and infinite, mirroring the planet we're meant to reach. Red dust instead of red rock. Same loneliness, different sky. I take a walk along the perimeter. The hum of generators fills the silence. Every step kicks up a faint cloud like I'm already walking on another world. I think about the months ahead. 6 crew members, 1 ship, 9 months in transit. Every flaw magnified, every thought amplified. The ego doesn't survive in a vacuum. It expands. That's what the psychologists warn us about. Isolation strips away the outer layers until the mind begins to orbit itself. They say meditation helps, so I've been practicing. The stillness between breaths, the empty space where panic usually hides. Sometimes I reach it, a moment when everything stops spinning. Then a thought drifts in. You're doing it wrong, and the silence collapses. After lunch, nutrient paste, and a promise of flavor, I return to my quarters. The message light is blinking. A simple text from Mission Control, clear for launch. Report Monday, 0700. I stare at it for a long time. That's it. Years of preparation condensed into 3 words. My first instinct is to share it, post a photo, announce victory. But something inside me refuses. Not every success needs witnesses. Some triumphs belong in the dark, where they can grow without applause. I spend the afternoon packing and repacking. Every item has a place, every tool a label. Control is comfort disguised as order. Still, I can feel the unease rising, the part of me that questions whether this is dedication or obsession. At 1800, the sky outside bleeds orange. The moon, almost full, hangs low over the desert. I've always believed in timing, in celestial coincidences. The last time I visited the Zen Center, the teacher said, "When the moon is full, every reflection is perfect." Maybe that's true. Maybe perfection is just seeing things as they are. I lie on the bunk again, staring at the ceiling's faint grid of lights. The hum of the air system reminds me of the ocean in my dream. Everything is circular. The breath, the orbit, the lessons we repeat until we learn them. Tomorrow, the isolation protocols begin. No phone, no outside contact. The world will narrow to a capsule of voices and instruments. Some people fear that silence. I crave it, because the truth is, I'm tired of hearing myself talk. Tired of the constant commentary, the inner narrator who judges, compares, corrects. What's wrong with these people? Why can't they see what I see? That voice has followed me all my life. It got me this far, but it won't get me through space. The ego is a brilliant engineer and a terrible pilot. It builds the rocket, but can't let go of the controls. If I'm going to survive Mars, I'll have to eject it mid-flight. I close my eyes and imagine the red planet hanging in the black. A place untouched by history, politics, or noise, just dust and time. Maybe that excess what draws us there. The hope that distance can erase what we cannot forgive in ourselves. Sleep comes in fragments. When it breaks, the world is blue again, and the intercom calls my name. Final debrief. In the conference room, the crew assembles. 6 of us, strangers bound by mission code. The room smells of recycled air and sanitizer. Hail runs through the agenda. Communication protocols, emergency contingencies, psychological maintenance. I half listen, half drift. Across the table, the flight specialist, Mira, catches my eye. She gives a small smile, the kind that says, "I know this is absurd, but let's do it anyway." For a moment, I feel weightless. Maybe that's the real gravity test. How to stay human inside the machine. When the meeting ends, Hale dismisses us with a final reminder. The mission doesn't care about your opinions. It cares about performance. Remember that out there, the smallest mistake can echo forever. Outside, the night has deepened. The desert wind carries the faint scent of metal and rain. I walk back alone, hands in pockets, thinking about echoes. Every choice I've made has led here, to this edge between control and surrender. The ego still whispers, "You're not ready," but readiness is a myth. Rockets launch whether the pilot believes or not. Back in my room, I sit cross-legged on the floor, close my eyes, and let the hum of the bass fill me. Each breath becomes a countdown. 10, 9, 8. The numbers fade into silence. When I open my eyes again, everything feels lighter. The doubt, the body, even the room itself. For the first time in months, I don't want to measure anything. Somewhere above the clouds, the moon glows like a distant planet, and for a moment I can almost hear it whisper back. Launch sequence engaged.